Okay, so coming back, so n-type material, majority charge carriers will be electrons and the minority charge carriers will be holes. Okay, now coming to the p-n junction diode. Okay, so, p-n junction. Okay, p-n junction in the sense you have the p-type material where the majority charge carriers are holes, and you have the n-type material majority charge carriers are electrons. Okay, when you bring them together, what happens at the junction? This is a junction. Okay, at the junction, what happens? The electrons which are present near that junction will try to diffuse towards the p side. One second. Electrons will try to diffuse towards the p side. Okay, so when electrons are diffusing from n side to p side, there it is losing one electron, so there the ions, positive ions will be formed. Okay, whereas to the p, towards the p side, what happens? It is gaining an electron, so that is the reason negative ions are formed. Okay, negative ions are formed. Okay, so this diffusion will happen until until this will act as a barrier between the n-type material. That n-type material, from the n-type material, the electrons will not further move to the p side. Okay, so that entire region is said to be the depletion region. Okay, and here if you observe, towards the p side I have negative ions and towards the inside I have the positive ions. Okay, so because of this there will be the force exerted between this negative ions and the positive ions, because of which there will be a electric field. Okay, so towards the negative side I'll have the negative potential, and towards the positive side I'll have the positive potential, like and those are of even in the sense negative and positive will have the same strength. Okay, so here why that is so? Because the doping of p type and n type is one second ma, I'm getting some important call. I'm sorry for the interruption. I've got a call from Dean Academics, so I didn't had any other option of other than muting you. Okay, fine. So here what we were talking. Okay, fine. So the depletion region will be formed. Okay, and here because of this depletion region containing negative ions and the positive ions, there is a barrier voltage. This will act as a barrier between this n type and the p type, that the electrons from the n type will not be able to move towards p type. Okay, so here I'm getting the barrier voltage as well. Okay, so barrier voltage that is due to the positive ions and the negative ions. Okay, so this is what your p-n junction diode. Okay, so now coming to the p-n junction diode, how it is working. See, if you observe, this is just the p-n junction diode, and these two are nothing but the leads, terminals. Okay, so I have to connect these two so that to make it work. In the sense, I have to do something so that it will work. Otherwise, this device, whatever is manufactured, it is of no use. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to make this work. Okay, so that is the reason what I need to do, I need to bias it. bias it, BIAS, bias it by an additional electric field. Okay, so for the PN junction diode, you need to bias so that the conduction in the device will happen. Okay, so in order to make this conduct, we have to bias it. Okay, so before biasing, this is where the module 1 has started. So this is a PN junction diode, which I have already explained you. And this is a symbol. Don't get confused with the inverter symbol and the diode symbol. Diode symbol is like this. Okay, you'll have one arrowhead and a line there. Okay, and towards P side, and this is your P and this is your N. Okay, so this is your P and this is your N. Okay, P side will call the terminal as anode, and the inside will call the terminal as cathode. Okay, anode and cathode. Okay, so here this arrowhead also indicates that the current flow. Okay, and the current flow will be only in the one direction. Okay, how that is happening can be understood using the biasing. Okay, so here what I did, I have to bias this. Bias in the sense I have to provide additional voltage. Okay, so additional voltage I need to provide. So when I'm providing the additional voltage, I can connect this in two different ways. One is P can be connected to positive and N can be connected to negative terminal of the battery. This is one way of connecting it. Okay, so here what happens, let me name this as VF. Okay, so what happens here, the holes are considered to be positively charged, so we are considering that it is getting reflected by this positive terminal. Okay, same charges, it will repel, right? So that is the basic principle which everybody knows. Okay, so positive, it will repel, in the sense it will start moving in this direction. In the same way, this negative terminal is connected to the N-type material, so the electrons which are present here will tend to move towards the junction. Okay, because of this, what happens, the width of the junction will be decreased. Okay, so the more as you increase from 0, this depletion region will decrease more and more. Okay, decrease more and more, and a particular voltage, a particular value of VF, which is known as V gamma. Okay, at a particular voltage of VF, which is known as V gamma, at that point this depletion region will completely vanish. Okay, this depletion region will completely vanish. Okay, that voltage is given by 0.5 if it is silicon, it is made up of silicon atoms, and it is 0.3 if it is made up of germanium atoms. Okay, so until 0.7, until this VF goes to 0.7, let me just speak with respect to silicon. So until 0.7, there will be some barrier present. Because of this barrier present, the current will be very less. Okay, so let me just draw the characteristics also. Whenever I am taking voltage on x-axis and current on y-axis, voltage is the input here and current is the output here. Okay, whenever I am taking V versus I, it is said to be the VI characteristics. This is very, very important question. Okay, so VI characteristics in the sense you need to plot voltage on x-axis and current on y-axis. Okay, so until 0.7, very small current will be flowing. It is almost negligible. Okay, and after that it will increase linearly like this. Okay, so this voltage is said to be the knee voltage. So if you ask me what will be the voltage drop across the device, it will be 0.7. Okay, because 0.7, until 0.7 there is a drop in the voltage. Okay, so after that only the current is flowing properly. Okay, so 0.7 is the voltage drop here. Okay, 0.7 is the voltage drop, and after that the current will be increased. There will be a free movement of electrons from N side to P side. Okay, so that is the reason the conduction will happen easily. Okay, so that is the reason there is an increase in current level. Okay, so if you just observe, one second, let me just erase this one. So what is happening here? The current is flowing, the electrons are moving in this direction. Okay, so electrons are moving in this direction. The conventional current direction will be in the opposite direction. See, electron is moving in this direction, so the conventional current direction will be in this way. Okay, so here the maximum current will flow. Okay, so after 0.7 the current will increase, right? So here only the current will be flowing. Okay, so that is the reason this is said to be the forward biased diode or forward biasing. Okay, so, hope this is clear to all of you. Here only you can mention in Vk or V gamma is equal to 0.3 for germanium 0.3 volts for germanium diode and 0.7 volts for silicon diode. Okay, so this is said to be the forward voltage drop. V gamma is said to be the forward voltage drop. Hope you are following. Any doubts you have until here? Understand the basic principles properly. So rest all everything is like electron movement only, like based on this only we'll be analyzing everything. Okay, so hope you all are understanding properly. Yes. Okay, fine. So this is all related to the okay, one more thing is also there. See here what is happening until 0.7 very small current will flow, and after that the current will increase linearly like this. Okay, but here again there is a limitation on the maximum forward current. Okay, so it is not that Vf can be increased from 0 to infinite. No. Okay, there is also limit on maximum forward current. Okay, this will be specified by the manufacturer. Okay, so manufacturer will specify that you should not and generally this if will be in milliamperes. Okay, forward current will be in milliamperes. Okay, so the manufacturer will specify that the maximum current through the diode should not exceed a particular level, maybe 30 milliamperes or like 100 milliamperes, like some specified value based on the doping. Okay, based on the doping, based on the type of the material used, based on that he will also give the restriction on maximum forward current. Okay, so it should not exceed that maximum forward current. If it exceeds, what happens, the device will get overheated. In the sense when maximum current is flowing, what happens, this device will get overheated, and you will not have control, and this diode will be damaged. Okay, so always you should not exceed this IF maximum. This is the limit which will be specified by the manufacturer. Okay, and this depends on the type of the material used and the amount of doping that we are doing. Okay, so it will depend on all these parameters. So these characteristics, whatever I have specified here, are said to be forward biased characteristics. Forward biased characteristics. Okay, so this is your forward biased characteristics. Okay, so I have just explained you when P is connected to positive and N is connected to negative. Okay, now I want answers from you people. Okay, so it is generally said to be reverse biased or reverse biasing, reverse biased diode or reverse biasing. Okay, and one more thing, if I want to specify in the form of symbol by using the symbol, this is your P and this is your N. Okay, so you should never ever forget which is your P and which is your N. Okay, in the diode, this line whichever you have is called as N, and the other side it is P. Okay, so P should be connected to positive and N should be connected to negative. This is what the circuit diagram I can say. And here generally we'll just connect one resistor to resistor current flow. Okay, so resistor, you all know very well why resistor is used. Okay, so to resist the current flow and to avoid damage to the diode, we'll generally represent it with a resistor. That's it. Okay, so reverse biasing. Okay, now can you tell me how the P side and N side should be connected? This is my depletion region. This is my P-type material and this is my N-type material. So P should be connected to negative and N should be connected to positive. Okay, when P is connected to negative, N is connected to positive, what happens? We have to check. So here I have holes. Okay, and here I have electrons. Here I have electrons. So what happens here? What happens here? This is negative and this is positive. Can anybody tell me what will happen here? This is positive and this electrons are negative. So what happens here? Just try ma, it's okay, no problem. Even if you're wrong, I don't mind. Okay, but trying is important for me.
Question.
Huh? What ma?
Can you repeat the question?
The question is like now what happens? P is connected to negative and N is connected to positive. So here what happens is my question. See here I have explained you that when P is connected to positive and N is connected to negative, this negative terminal is connected to the electron, so they will get repelled by each other and electrons will start moving towards the junction. In the same way, here I want you to explain in the similar way. Here I have holes which is connected to negative and here I have electrons which is connected to positive terminal. Okay, so what happens here? That is what my question.
There will no any diffusions.
What ma?
There will be no any diffusions like.
I'll only explain you. Anybody else can try? Shweta? Shweta? Shweta, are you there? Shweta? Shweta is not there. Grishma?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain ma? Can you try? Try it. Even if it is wrong, it's okay. No problem. Okay, fine. Let me only explain. So here I have positive terminal which is connected to the N side. Okay, N side I have electrons. Electrons are considered to be negatively charged. Now can you try? And holes are considered to be positively charged. So what happens here? What ma?
Attraction.
Yeah, so this electrons will tend to attract towards this positive terminal. In the same way, this holes will tend to attract towards this negative terminal, because of which what happens, the depletion region will increase. Okay, initially if this was my potential barrier, now the potential barrier is increasing like this. Okay, so the potential depletion region is increasing, which further increases the barrier voltage there. Okay, so because of this, what is happening? Is there any electron movement from N side to P side here? No, right? Yes or no, ma?
No, ma'am.
Okay, because the depletion region is increasing. The more the depletion region, the electrons will not be able to move from N side to P side. Okay, so that is the reason there is no conduction happening here. Okay, so there is no conduction happening here. Ideally, there should not be any reverse current. There should not be any current. No current should flow. No current should flow. No current should flow through the device. Through the device. No current should flow through the device. But what happens, as I've already mentioned, here you may have minority charge carriers as well. Okay, minority charge carriers here are nothing but electrons, and the minority charge carriers in N-type material is nothing but holes. Okay, so what happens, this electrons will tend to move towards this side. Okay, towards this side, the electrons may tend to move towards this side. Okay, and this holes may tend to move towards this side. That's what, see, electrons are moving one direction only, we'll consider. I will not confuse you by taking electrons and holes. The electrons will start moving in this direction. Okay, because these electrons are connected to the negative terminal here, so because of that the current will start flowing in this direction, but this current will be very less. The reason behind that is you'll have very few minority charge carriers present. That is only the reason we call it as minority. Okay, holes are majority. Majority means more, minority means less. Okay, so you'll have very few minority charge carriers present as electrons, and very few minority charge carriers present as holes in N-type. So what happens is electrons will start moving in this direction. Okay, so but it is of very less number. Okay, so that is the reason. And if you observe, here the electrons are flowing in this direction, so the current flow will be in the opposite direction. This is my IR current. Okay, IR current is flowing in the opposite direction. So here I have taken, here it is from P to N, current is flowing from P to N. Okay, and here if you observe, the current is flowing from N to P. Okay, so that is the reason, like this I have taken as positive in the first quadrant, and this I'll be taking as negative quadrant. negative quadrant. I'll take it in the negative quadrant. Okay, so this is VF, this is IF, forward current, and this is IR, reverse current, sorry, reverse voltage, VR. Okay, even the polarity has been changed, VR, and this is IR. Okay, so now the graph will be in the third quadrant. The reason behind that is, here if you observe, the current direction is opposite to the forward biasing current, and even the voltage whatever you are applying is reversed. Okay, so that is the reason it will be towards it will be in the third quadrant. Okay, here what happens, as I'm increasing this VR, it will slowly increase. Okay, and after a certain moment it will be constant. The reason behind the constant is, see, very few minority charge carriers are there. All the minority charge carriers are already started flowing. Okay, so because of that, the current will be stable. Stable in the sense, it will be almost stable. It will be like, even though you are increasing the reverse voltage, it will be constant throughout. Okay, so this current is said to be the saturation current, ISR. Saturation current is the maximum current that can be flowed through the reverse biased diode. Okay, reverse biased diode. Okay, now what I'm doing, I'm increasing this VR further, even though it is there is no change in the currents, even though it is constant, still I'm increasing VR. So what happens at a particular voltage? Okay, at a particular voltage, what happens, the diode will break down in the sense, see, the electrons which are present here, it may get high potential energy, and it may go and collide with other atoms. Okay, so collision will lead to more and more electron generation. Okay, so due to that, what happens, there will be more number of charge carriers present here, and it will randomly move, and it will go and collide with other atoms as well, and more and more electron hole pairs will be generated in the PN junction diode. Okay, so that is the reason what happens, the current will start increasing. Okay, but if this condition is reached, if this is said to be the breakdown voltage, breakdown voltage, breakdown voltage. Okay, so breakdown voltage. So if this level is exceeded, then again the diode will get damaged. Okay, so after the breakdown region, you will not, if you take your diode to the breakdown region, in the sense, if you, let me consider, I have 7.5 volts as my breakdown voltage, or 75 volts. Okay, fine. Generally for typical values, if you consider for silicon, it will be 75 volts. Okay, so let me say that I am increasing this VR beyond 75 volts. Okay, so what happens, the diode will damage, and the current will start increasing, but you cannot reuse the diode will be already damaged. Okay, so this voltage at which this breakdown will happen is said to be the breakdown voltage. One second. Are you able to hear me properly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. So this VBR, this breakdown voltage will also be specified by the manufacturer. So what all the manufacturer will specify? He will specify whether it is silicon diode or germanium diode. Okay, if he specify it is silicon diode, then you can just blindly take the V gamma value or the voltage drop across the device as 0.7. And one more thing, he will also specify the IF maximum value, in the sense what will be the what should be the maximum current that the diode can withstand when it is forward biased. And along with this, it will also give the VBR voltage breakdown voltage. Okay, even this will be given by the manufacturer. Okay, based on all this parameter, the manufacturer will give you all this parameter. So you should not exceed this VF maximum, and you should not exceed this IF maximum when it is forward biased, and you should not exceed this VBR when it is reverse biased. Okay, so these are the forward biased and reverse biased characteristics. So in general, in exam, they'll ask you explain VI characteristics of, this is very important question, characteristics of silicon diode, or they may give germanium diode. Okay, in that case, you need to first let me draw for silicon diode. Okay, so until 0.7, very small, I have to specify like this. V gamma is equal to 0.7 volts here. Okay, and then VF IF, this is a forward current, forward voltage and forward current, and this is a reverse voltage and reverse current. And you cannot directly draw the characteristics, you need to explain whatever I have explained. PN junction diode, from here you need to start and finally draw the characteristics. When you are explaining individual characteristics also, you can draw it if you want, okay, like this and like this, but finally you can draw all the forward characteristics and the reverse characteristics in this way. Okay. Hope you people are following. Hope you people are following.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So VBR. Once again, let me draw it correct properly. Then after that, it will be the saturation current, and at a particular voltage VBR, the diode will break down. Okay. So beyond this breakdown voltage, you cannot use the diode. Okay, so generally for your VBR typical values, if you ask me to write, this will be 75 volts, and generally IF will be in milliamperes and IR will be in micro or amperes or nano amperes. Okay, micro amperes and nano amperes. Okay, and this is in volts. This is in volts, and even this is in volts. Okay. So these are the characteristics of your forward VI characteristics of silicon diode. In the same way, you can draw for the germanium as well. Okay, until 0.3. 0.3 will be the voltage drop across here. Sorry, this is IF, this is VF, this is VR, and this is IR. Here also it's the same. This will be in milliamperes and this will be in microamperes or nanoamperes. Okay, and here this is how the real reverse saturation current will be. This is ISR. Once again, V gamma, which is will be equal to 0.3 volts. Here this is your ISR. Okay, what is it? Reverse saturation current. Okay, and this is again your breakdown voltage VBR. VBR, generally this breakdown voltage for your germanium diode will be 50 volts. Okay, so these are this is what you need to mention in your exam. Okay, you need to explain the forward bias. This is forward biased characteristics. Forward biased characteristics. And this is your reverse biased characteristics. This is very, very important for the sake of your internal as well as external. And if you just draw the graph, you'll not get anything. You need to explain from here. From here, you can explain everything. Okay, forward bias, how the diode will be connected, what happens there, everything. And reverse bias, what happens, all that you need to explain clearly. Is this clear to all of you? Is the characteristics clear? Anybody has got any doubts anywhere, please let me know. Hope you all are understanding. Huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. So as I've already mentioned the parameters. Okay, so what are the parameters you have? Forward voltage drop, forward voltage drop, voltage drop, V gamma. Okay, this I've already explained. Then maximum forward current. Maximum forward current in the sense IF maximum. Okay, it should not exceed this maximum forward current. If it exceeds this maximum forward current, then diode will get overheated and it will get damaged. In the sense, you cannot reuse the diode again. Okay, so then we have also seen the reverse breakdown voltage. See, I was mentioning as a breakdown voltage, which is happening in the reverse when it is reverse biased. Okay, so reverse breakdown voltage, reverse breakdown voltage, which is given as VBR. Okay, VBR. So when the diode is reverse biased, what happens after a certain voltage, the diode will get breakdown. Okay, so you have two different types of breakdowns happening. Okay, so what are those? We'll see specifically when it comes to the other diode. Okay, so here what I'm saying, when the diode, when the reverse voltage is increased beyond this VBR, the diode will be damaged and you will not be able to reuse the diode. Okay, so there is one special type of diode manufactured which is said to be the Zener diode. Okay, we have that also in our syllabus. I'll explain you what is that. But right now, let me just introduce the term Zener diode. Okay, this is normal PN junction diode, and the next one what I am speaking was Zener diode. So this Zener diode is mainly manufactured to work in this region. Okay, so there is some advantage to make the diode to work in this region. What is the advantage? How it is working? What are the different types of breakdowns that will happen? That we'll see there. Okay. Okay. Then the other parameter is reverse saturation current. Reverse saturation current. Reverse saturation current is nothing but the maximum current that can flow through the diode when it is reverse biased. So this is nothing but, see, this is the maximum current that is flowing through the reverse biased diode, right? So this is ISR. Generally, ideal case, if you speak with respect to the ideal case, the ISR should be equal to 0. There should not be any reverse current. Okay, there should not be any reverse current present there. Okay, so ISR should be equal to 0. Okay, for ideal case in the sense, I think you people know ideal case. So as a student, ideally you have to be very perfect in everything so that you will get 100% result. So that is what the ideal case. Okay, so next, reverse saturation current. Then the last one, 5 parameters, so out of which 4 I have already defined. Then the dynamic resistance. Dynamic resistance, which is denoted with RD. Okay, dynamic resistance is given by RD. Okay, so the dynamic resistance, resistance, generally what do you mean by resistance? Anybody can tell me? Anybody can tell me what is the use of a resistor or resistance? What is resistance? Normally, see, you will say that I have high resistance to this, high resistance to this. Like that way, we will also speak in general, right? So what do you mean by resistance?
Ma'am, the opposition of
Yeah, so opposition, see, I have very good immunity, I'll not get the COVID. Okay, so I am resistant towards COVID. Okay, so it is nothing but resistance means which will oppose the current flow. Okay, so here we need to calculate the dynamic resistance. Why I'm calling it as dynamic? Dynamic and static are two words. So static in the sense stable. Okay, dynamic in the sense changing. Okay, so here when we are varying the voltage, okay, when we are varying the voltage, so okay, fine. Generally, we'll be interested with the forward characteristics only, and we are not interested with the reverse characteristics because reverse characteristics are not useful for us. Okay, because the conduction in the device is happening only when it is forward biased. Okay, so that is the reason. Let us also calculate the dynamic resistance for the forward characteristics. So here what we are doing, we are varying VF from 0 to some certain voltage, right? So certain voltage which will not exceed IF maximum. Okay, so here we are increasing the voltage. So when there is change in the voltage, you have got the forward characteristics in this way. You have got the forward characteristics in this way. This is VF and this is IF. So as you are varying VF, IF is also changing. So if I want to find the dynamic resistance RD, I need to take okay, I'll just write in this way first, then I'll write. Oh, you know that Ohm's law V is equal to IR. I need R. So R can be obtained as change in VF divided by change in IF. Okay, change in VF divided by change in IF, which is nothing but, which can also represented as RD is equal to 1 by slope of forward characteristics. So change in VF. So if I want to find, see, how will you find slope? How will you find slope? If I have a line like this, how will you find slope? You'll take any 2 points, right? Okay, and you will take y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 is nothing but your slope, right? In the same way, for this also, I need to know what is the point here and what is the point here. I need to find out y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Okay, so if you observe, x-axis is voltage and y-axis is current. Okay, so this is nothing but the slope. Slope will be equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Y2 minus y1 is nothing but change in y divided by change in x. In the same way, change in y, y is nothing but if. Okay, so change in if divided by change in vf will give you the slope. Okay, but here rd is nothing but 1 by slope, 1 by delta if divided by delta vf. Okay, so this is nothing but change in vf divided by change in if. So this is how we generally calculate the dynamic resistance of the diode. But what is the problem here is this dynamic resistance also includes the DC resistance. DC resistance in the sense, for that particular circuit. Okay, let me just take the circuit. For this particular circuit, what I'll do, I'll calculate the correct exact value. See, let me consider that I want some particular current to flow through this device. Okay, for that particular current, I'll have some particular voltage. Only at that particular voltage, I'll get that particular current. Okay, so that is said to be the static resistance. Okay, so in this, even I'll have the static resistance as well. So if I want to find the pure dynamic resistance or the AC resistance, I'll be able to calculate by taking RD dash is equal to 26 millivolts divided by IF. And this is the formula. Anyway, don't worry about this formula. We will not be using, but I'm just telling you, this will consist of both dynamic resistance and the static resistance as well. Both will be included. Okay, so to get the exact only the AC resistance, this is how we calculate RD dash. Okay, RD dash is the AC dynamic resistance, pure dynamic resistance, whereas RD also includes the DC resistance. Okay, DC resistance or static resistance. Okay, so this is all related to the dynamic resistance of the device. Okay, hope you people are following.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so now I'll go back to the types of diodes. Okay, classification of diodes. Practically, classification of diodes. Okay, practically the diodes are classified into 3 types. The first one is low current diode. This is only the additional information you can get. Okay, so otherwise these all are not required, but additional information, as an additional information I'm giving you this. Okay, low current diode, medium current diode, high current diode. Okay, as a name itself tells us that low current diode, in the sense its IF maximum will be less. Okay, generally it will be in the order of few milliamperes. Okay, and its length. Okay, so this is what we'll be generally using in our labs. How many of you have seen the diode? Any one of you have seen the diode? Anybody have seen the diode? Okay, tomorrow I'll show you the diode. Okay, right now I have not I cannot take it out, so I have the diode in my home. I'll show you the diode. Okay, nobody in the class has seen the diode? Anybody has seen? Those who have seen can reply me.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So that's what I'll also show, because most of you have not seen. I have PN junction diode, IN4007. This diode I have with me. This is a number. Okay, so as I've mentioned, there will be so many different manufacturers will give different diodes. Okay, so this is one of the diode IN4007, which we will be mostly using in our labs. Okay, for our all experiments we'll be using this diode only. Okay, so the length of this diode will be almost 0.3 centimeters. Okay, I'm just speaking about low current now. 0.3 centimeters, and it will withstand maximum forward current of 100 milliamperes. Okay, and reverse bias voltage will be breakdown voltage. Reverse breakdown voltage is 75 volts. This is all related to low current diode. Okay, so these are the typical values. Okay, so next comes the medium current diode. Okay, as the name implies, medium current diode, in the sense it will be more than low current diode but less than high current diode. Okay, so generally this medium current diode will withstand maximum IF maximum of 400 milliamperes, 400 milliamperes, and VBR of 200 volts. Okay, so this is related to the medium current diode. And coming to the high current diodes, is it will withstand high currents only, maybe several amperes only it will withstand. And its reverse breakdown voltage will also be more. It will be of several hundreds of volts. Okay, so here, as it is withstanding more amperes, like more amount of current, so it will lead to heating of the device. Okay, so in order to reduce the heat, what we'll do, we'll either connect the fan, or we will connect the heat sink. Okay, heat sink in the sense it will absorb the excess heat from the device. Okay, so either of this will be imbibed with this high current diodes. Okay, so these are all related to the type classification of diodes. So generally in our labs we'll be using low current diodes only. Okay, tomorrow's class I'll show you how this diode will be. Okay, and it's 9:48 no. Okay, fine. What I'll do, I have also thought of showing you online simulation. Okay, so online simulation in the sense, like here I have just shown you the diode characteristics, forward bias characteristics and reverse bias characteristics, right? So I will practically show you, practically in the sense not by connecting a circuit explicitly, but through the simulation softwares I'll be able to show you. Tomorrow's class, maybe you please intimate me 10 minutes before, so that I will just show you that also. Okay, but don't forget to intimate me, because I may forget in my flow of teaching, I may forget to show you. Okay, so tomorrow I'll show you the VI characteristics. See, if it was ECE students, no, all ECE students will perform all the experiments related to whatever you are studying in basic electronics, whatever you are studying in basic electronics, everything they'll do practically in the lab. Okay, so whatever, mostly like third semester lab and fourth semester lab, out of see, in third semester they'll have two labs. Okay, one will be digital circuits lab, and the another one is electronic devices lab. Okay, and when it comes to the fourth semester, analog circuits lab. Okay, and microcontroller lab. So microcontroller lab, like you I think you will also study this, but I'm not sure as CSE students. But all these labs, all these three labs will contain all the experiments which we study in our basic electronics. Everything, whatever we are studying theoretically here, everything will be implemented. So I thought, anyway, since we have online classes only, whichever experiment I could show you through the simulation lab through the browser. Okay, I'm interested with the browser only, because most of you may not have the system, so let me just show it in the browser. If somebody is interested to further do the experiment on your own, you can do it. I'll share you the link for that particular experiment as well. Okay, so tomorrow what I want you people to do, tomorrow I'm having third hour. So 11 o'clock class will start. So you people remind me by 11:35. Okay, 11:35 you remind me so that I'll practically show you how we'll be getting the graphs. Okay. Hope you people are understanding what I'm saying.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So that's all for now. If anybody has got any doubts, you can tell me, you can ask, otherwise you can leave. And more importantly, please make sure that you finish the assignments in the right time. Okay, and assignments and also the quiz, because assignment at least I've given little time. Okay, but quiz, the time limit will be very less. Maybe today is a due date to submit the quiz, and I will make sure from my end that I'll be giving you the multiple choice questions only. Okay, text it will take other like you have to type and all, right? So instead I'll give you the radio buttons where you can just click on the correct option. Okay, so that's it. Make sure that you all attend the quiz. Okay. Thank you. If anybody has got anything to talk to me, you can. Otherwise, you can leave.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.